blew it. So, I recently came across someone on Facebook Marketplace looking to sell some comics out of their collection. And based on the pictures, they definitely had some books that I was interested in. And so I set up a time to go and take a look at them. And when I got to the guy's house, I spent the first 10 minutes or so just asking him about how he got into the hobby, what comics he enjoyed, because I was just trying to build some rapport like I usually do, so that when it came time to actually look at the comics and try to make a deal, we would have a little bit of a relationship that would help us to negotiate. And to my surprise, I actually found out that he wasn't looking to move on from the hobby, but he loves it so much that he's actually trying to publish his own comic book. And so he was trying to sell some things from his collection to help fund the artists and other people that are working with him. Well, of course, it eventually came time to actually go look at the books. And indeed, there were several that I was interested in, marked at what I thought was a good price. And now here comes my mistake. So almost all of the comics I buy are from online sellers, where I find someone who's listed some books, and then I get them to send me some pictures, and then we negotiate over email. And so what this means is that I have some time to really think over the books as well as do some research on them. So maybe there's this certain key I'm interested in, and I'll always go to eBay sold listings to find out what is really the current fair market value of that book. Well, when it came time to negotiate in person, I didn't feel like I had the time to do the research that I would usually do. And it wasn't like the guy was making me feel uncomfortable. In fact, he was very welcoming, but it's just kind of this internal pressure that, hey, I'm at someone's home, he's sitting there waiting on me. So I felt this pressure to make a quicker decision and not take the time that I usually would to examine the current fair market value on these books. Plus, I just felt like awkward, like looking prices up right in front of this guy on his collection. And again, nothing that he did to make me feel that way, but it was just a really new situation. And I let that internal pressure lead me to overpay for these books. Now, he had them listed on Facebook Marketplace for about 6 months, and he was just selling a few books at a time. And the books were priced at a good rate for what they were going for 6 months ago. But as we all know, the market just seems to continue to go down and down, at least on a lot of books. And so what I thought were good prices and what I had remembered to be good prices 6 months ago, I was relying on my memory rather than eBay. And so I thought I was getting a good price, and really I wasn't. And these books had adjusted in value by the time I made an offer on them. Now, I still pretty much paid fair market value for them, but when I'm going to someone's house, I'm not looking to pay fair market value. Obviously, it takes time to drive out there, gas, to look through it. I mean, if I want to pay fair market value, I would just go on eBay and do it like that. I'm looking to save some money, and I'm obviously hoping that they know that they aren't going to have to pay eBay fees, and I'm making it convenient for them. I'm taking on all the time labor. And so exchange for that, if I'm going to do that, I'm expecting to get, at worst, pay 75% of what they're going for on eBay, because I never want to pay more than that, because I want to be able to exit from those books and at least break even. And I've got to pay the eBay fees if I were to do that. And then, I know in 6 months these books could drop another 10-20%, which apparently they had done. And so I'm never looking to pay more than 75% of fair market value. And I thought that's what I was doing. But unfortunately, I got home, decided then, okay, well, let me just double check. And then, oh shoot, this book that I thought was worth $150 is really only going for the $100 that I paid for it. And so there are a few like that. And I bought these books where I was planning to sell a few of them to try to fund the hobby and basically break even and keep the books I was most excited about. But it ended up where I had to pretty much just sell them all to break even. And so it was kind of a bummer, but at the same time, it's not like I lost a ton of money, and I certainly gained some valuable experience and learned about the differences of buying in person from a collector versus buying online. I realized I've got to still take my time. If I want to do this in person, I've got to kind of get over this sense of awkwardness that I might feel. And also, am less disagreeable in person, right? I again made this connection so that we'd be able to negotiate, but in some ways maybe that hurt me because I heard this story about how he wants to publish his own comic book, and so I think that also made me more quick to agree to certain prices, and in some sense, again, I did like the guy, and I'm happy to help him. So, again, it's not that big a deal. I am very thankful for one thing that I learned from a past bad experience, because the book that actually brought me there from the pictures was X-Men 10, the first appearance of Kazar, and I was really looking forward to hopefully making a deal on it. But something that had happened a couple of years ago is that I bought an Amazing Spider-Man number 13, first appearance of Mysterio, from a seller that I'd found on Craigslist, and I didn't count the pages. And I sent off to CGC, and lo and behold, it came back, and there were a couple of pages missing. Well, this time I realized, okay, for a bigger, especially an older book, where it's more likely to have something missing, I need to open up the book and look at it. And so I did that, and lo and behold, there was a small little advertisement that had been cut out. And so I almost bought a book that would have come back from CGC with a green label, but thankfully I had learned from a past experience, and that's all that you can really do with these bad beats. Just learn. And so next time, again, I know it will just take a little bit of time before I agree to purchases. Now, at the very end, because we did have such a good conversation, he threw in a few books for free. And this is actually what I'm most excited about. You know me, I love free books, and it dulled the sting a little bit. And these are all books that I'm excited to have. First of all, we have Star Slayer number 2, and this is the first appearance of the Rocketeer. So it's a book that I've been on the hunt for quite a while. I'm not like a massive Rocketeer fan, but he is cool. And so, I just had my eyes out for it. And so to get it for free was pretty awesome. And then we have one more first appearance, Spectacular Spider-Man number 113, which is kind of the first appearance of the Foreigner. He's actually in disguise here, and you don't find out he's the Foreigner until issue 116, but technically this is the first appearance of the character. He's going to be in the upcoming Kraven the Hunter movie, so I'm excited to see how he is on the big screen. Another book that I'm excited about that I didn't have is Dazzler number 4, because if you watch my channel, you know that I collect Doctor Doom covers. He's my favorite character. And so another one that I've just been looking around, hoping to pick up at some point, wasn't in a rush, but it had been on my radar. And so just to have it thrown in was pretty cool. And then something that was really neat. So this seller is a big Bernie Wrightson fan, had a lot of original art, and had a lot of autographs, and he just gave me this card of some obviously Bernie Wrightson art. It's kind of hard to pick up there, but it's signed by Bernie Wrightson. So again, just to have those thrown in for free made the deal a lot sweeter than it would be. Now tell me in the comments below, what are some of the lessons that you've learned about buying comics from some bad experiences that you've had? Commiserate me, help me feel better in my misery. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you consider doing so now. Like, comment, thank you.